He's Seth Greenberg, former college coach, now an analyst at the mothership. He joins us on the program. Seth, the immediate reaction you had when you saw the end of the Wake-Duke game.
Immediate reaction was a lack of planning by Wake Forest. The administration did not have a plan in place to make sure that the officials and the players got off in a safe manner. And it is real simple. When you look at the video, Dan, look at the number of fluorescent jackets or the lack of number of fluorescent jackets or security that's surrounded. Look, you were favored in the game. You were favored in the game. You were favored by 2 points. There's a good chance you're going to win the basketball game. Wake Forest is a really good team. And it really bothers me because it takes away from the win that Wake Forest had. It was a program win. It was a win that's going to get them in the NCAA tournament. They have maybe as good a starting five as any team in the ACC. Yet all we've done the last 2 days is talk about the court storm, but a lack of planning. You might have said you had a plan, but the plan you had was ineffective. At Wake Forest, the students sit at both ends. All right. Steve Forbes called a timeout with like 2 seconds left. I'm thinking in my mind as watching it, because we had the same situation when I was at Virginia Tech when we played Duke. I'm thinking in my mind as I'm watching that here come the fluorescent jackets, and they're going to create a tunnel, and they're going to help these guys get off the court. No jackets. I'm sitting there watching and going, uh-oh, we got a problem here. Buzzer goes off. It was a fast-developing court storm coming from both ends. The players had no chance, really. And to me, it was just a lack of planning and embarrassing for the league, embarrassing for Wake Forest. And I'm a John Curry fan, but I just think they made a huge mistake. And thank goodness it didn't end up worse, because Kyle Filipowski, whether it's knee or his ankle or whatever happened to him, here's my deal. And we talked about this morning on Get Up. So say he gets pushed, all right, and someone pushes him and he falls in. As he's coming down, he pushes someone back. Who's the villain?
He is.
No win. It's a no-win situation. So there's got to be a plan. We got to have a solution. Like, agility is part of any business. In your business, what you do, you've shown agility. You change with the times. You recreate certain parts of what you're doing, how you're doing, and why you're doing it. In coaching, agility, you see the game has changed. The use of the 3-point rule. Freedom of movement. There's greater flow. Inverting your offense, having bigs who can handle the ball. So when it comes to court storming, and I used to love court storming, Dan, we've got to have agility. We've got to have some solutions. Maybe we don't have to eliminate it, but we've got to have agility to make sure the officials and the players can get off the court safely.
Yeah. That's what I keep saying. Just ensure that you have a police presence, that their job is to get the opposing team off the floor and get the officials off the floor, and then have at it if you want to. And we're going to see this. And look, ESPN has glamorized this for decades. These conference tournaments. Everybody wants to make SportsCenter, and they're going to do this. I'm worried about the tone of court storming. Like, the tone of it now has changed. It's, here's a video, watching me. You're not necessarily watching what's in front of you. It's like, I'm going to do a TikTok video. Yes, that to me is even more of a concern. If you want to be on the floor, I don't want to be the old guy, get off my lawn. But I also think you have to ensure the protection of those student athletes and the officials. That is paramount. How many police officers it takes, not security. I want police officers there to make sure that they get off the floor. Wake beat Duke last year at Wake. They didn't storm the court. So, why now?
It's a rite of passage. I think these students think, like you said, it's their moment. They're not in the moment. They're basically creating the moment by using their phones and documenting it instead of being organic and spontaneous.
Yeah.
Now it's almost a rite of passage. And the other thing is society in general, Dan, and I really believe this, there's a lack of respect for others. So those kids are running on the court. They don't give a crap about who's in front of them. And if they have a chance to have that viral moment, maybe they can push Kyle Filipowski down or bump into him, and they can turn around and go, hey, see what I did to Filipowski, see what I did to Mark Mitchell. There's a lack of respect, not just in court storming, but just in society. And let's face it, everything that happens in life, it trickles down. I mean, it doesn't just stay in one certain area. And because of that lack of respect, I think that it's become increasingly dangerous. So my plan is real simple. Game's over. All right. And like, first of all, the students, if they're going to get their student tickets, they have to sign a contract. And there's going to be consequence about abiding by the rules in relation to end of games, entering the court storm, however you want to write it. They have to sign a contract. It's a binding contract with the university. But game ends 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, whatever it is. You put it on the clock. All right. The storm can't start until the horn goes off. Play the alma mater. At Virginia Tech, we say play Enter the Sandman, whatever it is. People are still hyped. You get those people off the court safely. Boom. Let's go. And you know what? You're still going to have that same moment. You're still going to have that same experience. Or have the players. This is like what I call inverted court storm. Game's over. People leave the court safely. Players and the coaches go into the stands and celebrate with the students jumping up and down, music's blaring, taking pictures. People get a chance to high five the players and do what they want. You got to have agility. You got to have agility in the world today. And I think we're not showing, it's not either black or white. We can find somewhere in the middle where it's safe for all parties.
We're lucky in some ways, Seth, that this happened at a quiet time in the world of sports. There's no NFL. Combine's just getting started in a couple of days. Like, there's a lull in the action. The NBA is starting after the All-Star break. So we will focus on this. But my concern is, how long do we focus on that? You've been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
Nothing's happened. And I don't know if anything's going to happen here. It's just
the commissioners are involved, though, now. And, it's not an NCAA issue, Dan.
Okay.
Like, everyone, it's easy. We call NCAA. No, it's not an NCAA. This is done in the athletic departments. It's done at the commissioner's level. Who do the commissioners work for? They work for the presidents. So there's a conference call allegedly today or tomorrow with all the commissioners. And you know what? I don't know if it's going to work across the board, but for the Power 5 conferences, there needs to be some type of protocol in place. And, again, come up with a solution. But everyone wants to blame everything on the NCAA. Everything isn't like, hey, it's sunny outside. Good job, NCAA. Crap, it's snowing outside. God damn it, the NCAA, they can't control the weather. It can't be, it can't be everything. And my guy, I love Billis. I love him to death. My daughter works for his law firm. But, everything can't be their fault.
I agree. I know. It's easy to use them as a scapegoat. Let me hit you with this one before I say goodbye. If Caitlin Clark surpasses Pete Maravich on the all-time scoring list, should she be viewed as the all-time leading scorer in college basketball history?
She should be viewed as the all-time leading scorer in college basketball history from the point of four-year players. Because you can't, Pistol Pete did in 3 years. So I think you got to categorize him a little bit. And Pistol Pete didn't have a three-point line. And Caitlin Clark's phenomenal. I love her passing. I love her feel. I love her vision. I love her sizing. She could see over the defense. I love everything about it. And I love that her teammates celebrate with her. Like, it's not they celebrate her and they celebrate with her. You can see they have a great connection and trust and respect for what she's done and how she's included them in it. But what Pistol Pete did with no three-point line in 3 years, I think you got to have a separate category for that. But I think we've got to celebrate the incredible accomplishment that she had. Because if Pistol Pete played 4 years, I mean, that record probably would never been broken.
No, nobody's touching that. But and I've told this story on the air before. Dale Brown knew that I was a Maravich fan. He sent me actual game footage that LSU had, but he also sent me the shot chart from Maravich and said that he went back and said, just based off the shots he was taking, without knowing that would be where the three-point shot would be, he would average 55 a game. So, so if you're averaging 55 a game and you're doing that, he averaged 44 a game for 3 years. And, granted, helped that his dad let him, shoot all the time. But still, that I tell the audience that the pressure of having to go out and score, like Iverson, every single night, Jordan, Kobe, every single night, just the energy, Caitlin Clark, every single night, the energy it takes, because you can't have an off night. If you do, your team loses. They are dependent on you to get shots up. And I always found that was underrated. People thought, man, it must be nice to shoot all the time. Everybody knows you're shooting. You got to shoot.
And you're the focal point of the other team. Here's the amazing thing is getting that many shots. You're the focal point. You're sitting in your locker room before the game. You're playing Caitlin Clark. All right, when Caitlin Clark comes to the screen, we're trapping her. We're going to deny her the ball back. We're going to match up with her in transition. We're going to defend her with a bigger player. Whatever it is, she's the focal point of everything you do when you prepare for Iowa. Just like Kobe was, just like Maravich was, just like Iverson was, just like West was. I mean, West had a little company with Elgin Baylor, but you go back. But I mean, like, to me, that's the incredible thing. Like, they're saying we're stopping Dan Patrick, and she's saying, no, I think I'll drop 40 tonight.
Yeah. That's what's amazing. When they set out to stop you,
yeah,
like Toronto set out to stop Kobe when he scored 81.
So it was not a good plan.
Great to talk to you, Seth.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. That's Seth Greenberg, former college coach, now at the mothership there.